Okay, you silly little mortals. You guys, apparently, don't know the backstory of our boy Baldi from Baldis Basics, and so it's been requested upon me from someone in the Discord server, which you can join with the link below, that I need to enlighten you. So, my last video was received very, very well. You guys can tell that I have an expansive knowledge on basically everything in the universe. Anything you guys could ever have a question about, just let me know, and I got the answer for you, because I'm that guy. All right. So Baldis Basics, Baldi is our guy that we're talking about today. So what you might have not known is Baldi, or Baldi Vittori is his last name, was a real person. He was born in 1802, somewhere in Italy, probably. I'm giving birth. At a very, very young age, he had an unnerving addiction to arithmetic and solving crazy mathematical problems before the boy could even walk. Now, legend has it that he calculated the exact number of stones on the Pearl Harbor beach when he was only 4 years old. 11, 12. That's 12,000. The fuck is that noise? Now let's jump into his adult years. You know, not a lot happened as a kid, so let's get into the adult stuff, all the good stuff, not that type of adult stuff. Whoa, put that away. What are you doing? 1825. He studied with two of the greatest mathematicians in the entire world, Jake from State Farm and the ghost of Isaac Newton. Long story. With these studies, he created a brand new style of teaching his arithmetics and mathematics. The people called it the Baldis Math Method. So what was the Baldis Math Method all about? Well, I'm going to tell you, because I know and you don't, because I have the knowledge and you don't, because I'm smart and you're not. It's okay. It basically just involved rapid repetition with wielding a ruler. And this method actually kept students very, very motivated and focused through light physical correction. Now, it was eventually banned in 17 different countries for ruler-related injuries. Now, fast forward a couple years, 1843 was the year, Baldi opened up his first ever school. Not only was he the principal, but he was the students, he was the teacher, he was basically everything that he could be. He played every single role. Obviously until the actual students came to the school, but you know, everybody has their humble beginnings, everybody has to start somewhere. So he taught himself, governed himself, and learned himself. And what this school eventually ended up doing was basically taught children how to learn and do math in high pressure situations. Now, this school had a grade system like no other, and in my personal opinion, sorry to bring politics into this or opinions into this, but I think it was a perfect grading system. Your grades basically just depended on how many math problems you could solve as fast as possible while being beat by your instructor. Several regions around Europe started adapting this teaching style, and it grew to be known as the Academy of Numbers and Pain. Now we're going to get into a little bit of politics. Over in the 1960s, Baldi actually had his own political run. Basically, what happened was Baldi's teaching tactics caught the eye of the government, and they wanted to take these ideas and grow them in their own ways. Those are two penises behind me. And don't worry about what these things are. It's not going to show up. Hey. Okay, well, no, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about what's over there. Don't worry about what's over there. Don't ask questions. You don't want to know what's over there. All right, I don't have a real green screen. So every once in a while, something's going to pop into frame. You know, things will happen. Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. So Baldi became the Prime Minister of Education in the entire universe. This fucker had math time chases being done everywhere that you could possibly imagine. Even the Martians were participating in this shit. And now here's where it gets really good. So they would basically do like a criminal entry into civilization rehabilitation type thing. And what that whoa, I'm having a stroke. And what that entailed was they would take criminals, very, very bad criminals. There's lots of criminals, lots of criminals locked up in the prisons. We need a place for them. We need a place to put them. We need a place for these criminals. We're going to put them somewhere. We're going to make good use of them. We're going to rehabilitate them. We're going to give them the life that they deserve. So they took these criminals out of these prisons, basically to go teach the children. So, like I said with the tactics before, basically you got beat into learning these things. So these criminals started teaching the children. And basically where that led was every one child that they were to fail. Because failing is kind of the way Baldi taught. If you failed, you weren't doing good enough. Therefore, you got beat. You know, whatever had to happen, happened. So failing was kind of their style of like, hey, this is great because, you know, we know who the smart kids are and we know who the bad kids are. So every child that these prisoners failed by beating mercilessly took 1 year off their sentence. Hey, you guys remember World War II? I think we can all agree that was not that great. That was kind of a bad thing. That kind of probably shouldn't have happened. That was kind of probably a bad thing. Did you know Baldi is the reason that World War II ended? I bet you didn't. Baldi fixed and ended World War II and ended communism through a mathematical test competition. World leaders were just chasing each other all over the place while doing these math tests to show who is the strongest, who's the smartest. It's obviously us. It's America. America's the strongest. America's the greatest. We are the best. We are the best of all. We are the best of all time. Eventually, the event was ended because Australia accidentally dropped a nuke on Canada, and it wiped out their entire population. 1972, the year of the video game, where it all started, where this all started, how we're all here right now. Baldi jumped on this new video game trend and wanted to start his own mathematical, arithmetical math game, which sounds super fun. I like math games because remember how I have all the knowledge in the universe? That's because of how smart I am, and part of that is also involved in math. Watch this. I bet you guys don't know the answer to this one. What's 2 plus 2? 4. You had to think about it. You had to think about it, you idiot. So this new game never really saw much success, but it still kind of sat as like a diamond in the rough and like a go-to game for all these like mathematical arithmetic nerds. And then, never forget, you know, rest their souls, the 1985 Baldo-Vision headset. It was Baldi's first attempt at making his own VR headset, his own video game system in general. It's a new world for him. He was born in 1802, okay? He's still trying to figure things out, all right? It's only 1985 by the time this thing was made. So from 1802 to 1985, there really wasn't that many technological advances that this guy could get caught up on, all right? So he was doing his best. And basically how this thing worked was if you got the answers wrong, it would just give you a little zap, a little shock, a little poop, a little pop pop, you know, just a little zip zap, you know? But unfortunately, it was quickly discontinued because parents found out that if you got every single question wrong or you failed the test, it would give you a lethal dose of electricity through your veins, and 17,000 children lost their lives. 1992, Baldi's trip to space. Baldi had a new taste for space. He loved math, now he loved space, and he wanted to put those things together. He said, how can I put these things together? How can I make something that's involved with space and math? And where can we go with it? What's going on with that? You know, we were in the middle of like a space race. We were trying to beat China. We had to beat China up there to the moon. So we had to beat China, we had to beat Russia, we had to beat all these people to space, and Baldi was the first to go. Now, he brought in a new type of teaching. You know, the beating the kids thing, it was kind of getting a little outdated. I mean, at this point, what's it? It's 1992. It was getting a little outdated. People were, you know, kind of tired of teachers beating their children. They kind of wanted to leave that up to the fathers of the time. So his new strategy was take these kids up to space and give them another time test. And if they failed, he would just push them out of the rocket ship and have them free fall back into the atmosphere, right back to the planet, right back down to the planet, free fall. No suit, no parachute, no nothing. That'll teach him. Eventually, Baldi got bored of being in space because he couldn't really think of any math problems that could trick the Martians. You know, he was trying to do these tests with the Martians as well, and he just wasn't really getting anywhere with them. You know, he couldn't really figure it out. They're smart up there. All right, they're very smart up there. They know what they're doing. They got something. They got, a thing in their brain or something, and they're very, they're doing it. They're up there. They're doing it right now. Probably. You probably don't even look up. You see that? See that? What's going on up there? I don't know. I'm not up there. So Baldi came back down to Earth, and he kind of disappeared for years on end until 2018, which you should be probably caught up with, at least a little more around then, when Baldis Basics came out. Now, this time around, people were a lot more receptive to Baldi. People really liked him. In fact, to this day, he still has like a whole fan base and a whole following, a whole community. I'm sure a lot of you are going to be commenting on this video upset because you guys didn't know the real lore behind it, and I did. So I'm sure you guys will be like, that's factually incorrect. Actually, now Baldi went corporate back in 2020. Let me tell you what, Fortune 500 loved Baldi. Loved Baldi. They loved him. They loved the guy. Baldi's tactics were absolutely perfect for their corporate environments. He knew exactly what he was doing. They adopted his tactics from the early 1800s. They loved it. So corporate companies back in 2020 started booming. Things started booming. The economy was never in a better shape than in 2020. 2020 was the best time to be alive. Nothing bad happened in 2020. It was the greatest time ever for Fortune 500 companies and everybody in America, actually. They started using Baldi's approach to enforce their rules at the companies and basically just push for better company results. Now, in 2024, the entire world uses Baldi's approach. Every school, every Christian school, every private school, every public school, every middle of the ground, you're kind of rich, you're kind of broke, you're not really there, so like the private school section, but you're almost there. Everywhere, every schooling system, every teaching system, even the homeschooled kids, all get taught using Baldis basic method. The old school method of wielding that ruler and beating the shit out of any kid that fails their tests. If he falls into obscurity again, he's just going to wipe out the entire world. Baldi's impact on the world in every way possible, through time, traveling, space, any paradox, anything that you can think of, even the multiverse. Baldi had a huge impact on. Baldi continues to shape the minds and nightmares of adults and children around the world to this day. His relentless pursuit of mathematical excellence has left a lasting legacy that future generations will undoubtedly fear and respect. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Check out the Discord server with the link down below. Let me know what you guys want to learn about next. I have infinite knowledge in this noggin right here, okay? Also, I don't really know if this mic is any good. I know in the last video it was kind of bad. I had to adjust some equalizer settings to try to make it sound better, and it's not great. It's not great. So make sure you guys subscribe so that I can make some money off this channel, so I can get some better equipment going, and maybe I'll get a real green screen one of these days or something. But thank you guys. Comment down below what you guys want to see next. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.